Welcome to From the Front Lines. This is Jay Wilcox, reporting from inside the hydrofracking war zone of Pennsylvania. Today we're with Dave Bohlander. Although never signing a gas lease, Dave's water has been contaminated. Dave's wife is being treated for elevated liver enzymes by Johns Hopkins Disease Toxic Control Department. Meanwhile, it's business as usual, and stories from the gas fields aren't being told. How is it that the major media outlets completely ignore the hydrofracking story? It's our water. Dave Bohlander. He believes that when the day of reckoning comes, politicians will be held accountable. After all, it's our elected officials' job to protect all the citizens.
We've had our well tested numerous times. Part of the problem is you can't afford to test for the hundreds of things that they don't even tell you they're doing. My sister-in-law down here had a black ooze coming out of her ground. The DEP refused to test it. She had it independently tested, and it was toluene coming up through her ground. The well across the way was apparently one of those early wells that had improper casing. She had so much methane in her water well it was disconnected for 6 months because they thought the house would blow up. And again, there's been no accountability whatsoever to this. It's like there's one can do these things and have no cost at all to doing them. And part of the problem is you test for one thing and it might be good only for that day because it's erratic. We have high manganese in our water. And then you test it sometime later and it might be fine, and then a little bit later you've got something else. And so the unpredictable and always at risk environment here is quite unsettling. And again, it's kind of like what was it, Oliver Wendell Holmes, who said, "Your right to punch ends at the tip of my nose." Well, it's kind of like this. We didn't sign a lease, so why do we have to bear the cost of being up at night with lights shining in our house and endless noise traffic and air pollutants that are showing up that are in an unhealthy range and our water being contaminated? I thought that right should end at the property line of the person that signed the lease and gets all this money. And again, there's this kind of unsaid thing now in our state that we have the right to take whatever we want from anybody, and the consequences we're indifferent to it. Well, that's not the America I know. That's not the America where people have rights that are inalienable and cannot be just stomped and trampled upon by peoples of power and great money and who donate $2 million to the governor to run. And it's, all our politicians here in the county, most all of them get huge donations from the gas companies, and it's shameful. The gas companies, they'll give to the ambulance, the fire, and everything, but will they restore our water here, contaminated water on the farm? They haven't even offered it, and there's a complete indifference to it. That's not right, and what we need someone here who represents the people and not just these businesses that are destroying our state. I tip my hat to New York. New York wisely has seen how Pennsylvania has trashed their own state, and they're holding back. I would love to meet with Andrew Cuomo and encourage him to keep that moratorium going, because as time goes on, they're going to find more and more of the facts of all this stuff that they're doing with the fracking and the harm that's happening to water and air emissions and things like that. I wish I was in New York State, and it's really shameful. I am embarrassed with our state of Pennsylvania. So it's really a sham, and people should wake up to the fact that their risk is a lot greater than that they are aware of, and that the people that they think would protect them in this risk are they're not sleeping at the wheel. They've been whored to the gas companies, and it's shameful. I have some empathy for New York, having been born in New York State. I think what I would say to them, the southern counties, southern tier counties, is you're fooling yourself. The money is quite tantalizing. Money, really, this is a prime example of money being the root of all evil. You think that big check that you get and that royalties that they promise you, the trade-offs that you are making because of that, and the trade-offs you're making on your people around you, your neighbors, is not anywhere near that type of money that they're giving you, as much as that money may seem. And you are selling your soul. You may be gaining the whole world in your checkbook, but you're selling your soul on this. There is no way you are going to be able to mitigate the harm that this does to your area. And they're fooling you. The gas companies are fooling you. They will be long gone before any accountability. And the fact is, they won't be able to restore your water. The water is the most important thing. Well, air emission as well, but water, you cannot replace an aquifer. And why that is being used as some roulette wheel where everybody can be gambled so they can, Audrey, McKendry or whatever can live his jet life style at the expense of all this. It's ridiculous. It's shameful. It's disgusting. I think the other thing that, here's a message to Cuomo, Governor Cuomo. I think it's shameful that the only water they're concerned about is New York City and Syracuse and metropolitan areas. So you trash the rural country aquifers. What about their drinking water? What about the water for the livestock here? I think that's quite, I don't know, urban-centric? Is that a word even? To think that we can be the, sacrificial lamb to provide all the gas for New York City. I think that's pretty, that's not America. That's quite inequitable. That's quite biased. And to think that's a plausible argument to use, that's quite surprising to me. Everybody's aquifer is important. And this is all linked. There's no wall that stops one aquifer from the mile down the road. And to trade off energy and one type of energy for water, which is irreplaceable, whereas energy, there's alternatives, is nuts. It's insane. The fact is, I'm surprised this hasn't come to light. Very few people are getting money from this gas business. Large landowners are getting it. Certain companies are getting it, but the bulk of the population is not. And I think there should be a revolt by those people. Get out this governor who is completely, my goodness, it's embarrassing to the degree he's so biased toward the gas companies. Purge out DEP. They're an embarrassment. I mean, it's shameful, the lack of oversight and enforcement. There was a serious violation at an abutting site here, the Otten site. It was tremendous. Chemical flow went right into a creek, which goes right into this lake across the street here, Spring Lake. They got a $5,000 fine. That's chump change. That's a joke. That's a slap in the face to the people. And make regulations that are painful, that make enforcement. Our neighborhood has been better enforcers of the environment regulation in this neighborhood than DEP has. It's an embarrassment where we know things that they don't know, and then when they do come out, we had a situation up here on it was called the Hirschberger site, where there was a spill, chemical substances all there, blue-green looking water we called DEP, and they came out, and before any testing, they already told us, we think it's some herbicide. No test. They already had their answer without any testing done at all. And it's shameful. So the answer to Pennsylvania, what's the answer? A revolt by the people. A revolt. We've had that. First of all, people should recognize hey, we're not getting all these dollars and we're paying all the costs. We're destroying the state we love, that we've lived here forever. And there should be a major turnover of all these people, all these politicians that take money from the gas companies. Vote them on out. Get them out of here. And they've seconded themselves to the mighty dollar. They don't represent me. None of these commissioners in this county represent me. They're not doing a thing for me. And the bottom line is, if they don't do this, this state is going to be permanently destroyed, and the people in it are going to be permanently destroyed. And that we need somebody like an Al Smith who represents the people and not all these favored interests.
Thanks, Dave. We sure could use Al Smith right about now. This is Jay Wilcox, and you've been watching From the Front Lines.